Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relations. Let's get started today. Really epic topic, and I think that we're all going to learn a lot in this topic today as we break it down. Excuse me. So, let's get started today, okay? I will, hold on, let me take some monoatomic gold. You can ask me what that is later. Okay, so Jedi mind tricks for selling anything. Let's get started. Have you guys ever watched Star Wars? Are you guys like the type to watch Star Wars? Right? So there's Jedi and then there's the Sith. And then there are the gray Jedis. Primal Sutra, we don't find ourselves in one extreme camp. We maintain an inner harmony. And that's the way that we go about it. Okay? So it's about feeling good, but not only feeling good, performing good, right? Getting results as you're feeling good. That is your most optimal state. And so if you can tap into this optimal state and make it your norm, then you're probably leading a very interesting, good life. If you're not in the zone, if you're tapped out, if you're distracted, if you're on autopilot, if you're numbing yourself, all of these things are not going to get you tapped in and wired in to who you truly are, who you can activate right now. You say, I'm able to activate these different neural patterns right now, okay? And share with you this message today, which is all around how to market thyself. How do you market you? How do you market a brand? What is a brand? Okay. Now, I'm not going to look at this from a marketing background. For that, you could go to my past business mentor, Joe Nicasio. Okay. He can teach you a lot about these things. Here on this channel, we break down spirituality, cult, basics, some understandings, and we try to break it down. Today, we're not going to go deeply into the occult, but I'll give you some metaphors and things that will allow you to understand this way better. Okay. So I'm getting this information, how to sell anything, from Tony Robbins. Okay. In a very rare video I found. And I was really looking at it and I got very inspired by it, actually. I got very inspired by it. And what had happened was, hold on one second. I'm going to share this with the tribe before I forget. All right. So let's get it. Let's get it. Okay. How to sell anything like a Jedi. Okay. Jedi mind tricks, matrix breaking marketing. Okay. Now, this is all Tony Robbins NLP stuff. So before you dive deep into this, prime yourself to just wash your brain of all the business acumen and things that you know in your mind, all the definitions, all the ways, okay? Just drop it all into a bucket and you can pick it up after you leave, right? This lecture, okay? However, for right now, I want you to use a Shoshin or a beginner's mind because only then will we be able to start at the same blank slate, okay? So the first thing, we got to do a whiteboard, man. These two main things that he said is identify the buying state, and number two, anchor the buying state to your product. How do they usually feel when they buy? Okay. And the anchor, the connection between the emotional readiness and your offering. right? Your offering feels like the most natural solution to something they're struggling with, correct? So the first step is to recognize the emotional and mental state of your potential customer. If you can do that, if you can build rapport, right? How do you build rapport? Also me. It's also me, right? Oh, you go there too? Oh, it's also me, right? No way, right? That creates instant rapport. So we're talking about the buying state, which knowing this makes you show build on interest rather than pushing prematurely, right? And the second one, once you recognize the buying state, you anchor it directly to your product. Now you develop or build rapport. Rapport happens through a sense of mirroring. Okay, you match body language, you match tones, you use words to match that energy. Okay, vibrational marketing. Okay, so it's all in a vibe, right? It's all in a vibe. It's all in how you connect and relate to somebody else. And are you matching and making yourself relatable to them? Are they able to listen to you, right? So connect before you convince, okay? Some people don't even connect with the person. They're just immediately into the sales. No, you got to warm them up, man. Okay? This is not vibrational marketing if you're doing it the opposite way. Okay? There's guerrilla marketing that's different. Okay? There's another style of marketing which is like excruciatingly, teasing out people's pain points and, putting them into a certain box in group out group shit, right? I understand that you got to learn about your goals and pain points for sure. Instead of diving into your experience, ask questions that reveal what they care about. This makes your pitch relevant and makes it more personal. And you've got to avoid changing your tone when you ask for the sale. This is a huge one, man. This is one that I learned from my business mentor, Joe. And it was very, very powerful to know this actually, because everybody loses their cool right before they're about to ask for money. So, the money part, then they fumble right there. That's the moment. Okay. They have this weird money story. They have this strange, dynamic with asking for something like that or whatever, right? Their own conditionings around it. And that's the state that you have to hack. You have to match a calm tone when you're speaking about money. So you can practice this right now. Let's practice this right now. Start speaking about money for a minute. Put a minute timer and just say anything about money, Oh yeah, these stocks and bonds, money, cash, finesse, hustle, um, congruence, marketing. Even if random words come in, just keep going, okay? Shares, infinity, okay? Abundance, immeasurable wealth, sand of time becoming sands of money, bags of money, right? Whatever it is, right? Like now going, I'm priming into some kind of a weird money state, right? Money, 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 right? Like Mr. Krabs or some shit, right? I'm in that frequency. So now, of course, I've gotten it very normal. I've normalized talking about money. Now I can be like, hey, you know, how do you prefer to pay? Right? It's just natural. at that point, right? Because you've already connected. Hey, me too, right? They feel aligned. And now it's about understanding where are their pains and where are their aspirations. Okay. This makes your pitch very relevant and personal. Avoid changing your tone when you ask for the sale. Be straightforward, confident, showing you believe in the value of what you're offering, man. You know, people sense your hesitation, right? They sense it. It's underneath the surface. So you got to maintain your congruence with enthusiasm. You've got to overcome objections through something Tony Robbins calls attack and confess. Okay. So you address typical objections up front. For example, you acknowledge that time and money are concerns, but reframe them upon reminding them of the value. Right. So, like, I'm running the seminar, and can you believe it? Some people, they say they don't have enough time to go to a flow state seminar. Isn't flow state timelessness? Can you believe that? Right. And so I would say that, and then they would start to question them and doubt themselves, right? All of a sudden, like, wait a minute, I had that objection, but now he's already talking about it. Right. So you almost have to enter their world. Okay. Just to understand what makes them buzz. And that works through mirroring, right? Very subtly. Don't copy them like a robot, obviously, but very subtly start to mirror the feeling, the essence, the chakra point meeting, synchronizing breath, right? Crown centers touching. Whatever it is, in your own visualizations, we now understood. I mean, yesterday I was watching the IMC podcast about remote viewing and stuff. And it was said that the 4D is the imagination realm, according to the CIA and so forth. So your imagination is more powerful than you think, my friends. My friends, your imagination is way more powerful than you think. You've got to understand that that is the Holy Grail that I just mentioned. Your imagination is the Holy Grail to fixing all of this and being the best at what you do. Okay. You can also confess your initial doubts to make them feel understood, right? Like, look, listen, I know you're going to this random flow state seminar and you don't really know what it is, but hey, maybe you'll like it. All right, how do you know? Right? So you call it up out front and you mention it. You're doubting that they're doubting to go or whatever, and you bring it up because that's what you do, right? That's what you do. If you really believe in your product, if you really believe in what you're offering, then you are going to find a way, right? To speak about it, create relatability, and also provide practical details about it. Like right off the bat, right? Right? These little factors, oh, the price, the location, the this, the that. Have that like the back of your hand, like it's second nature, not like something you have to memorize and sound robotic when you say it, right? This is not vibrational marketing. Vibrational marketing is all about the vibe. Vibe overrides the sale. Vibe overrides the sale because people buy emotionally, not logically. Yeah, you can give them a logic, the step by step of this and that, right? And does it work in the wintertime too? Oh, does it work? Is it waterproof? Yeah, you can also confess that, look, I can give you all the details, write it up in an email it to you right now, right? Or I'll text message you all the benefits right now. You already have their text and you've also gotten them a message. It serves both a purpose. This is very powerfully aligned marketing, right? I think this is what the future of marketing really needs is to address typical objections up front. And while rapport and relatability are key, you can also help them mentally justify their decision of buying. And also, you're finishing super strong by reinforcing the benefits, by using phrases like, imagine how great you'll feel once this is resolved. And you guide them over to the final step, right? Making a commitment, a devotion, a bhakti, right? Because on the other side, you're guiding them over to the final step, right? So this is vibrational marketing, my friends. You feel it to transfer it. You have to feel like your product is already sold in your mind, and this little conversation is just a byproduct of this sale already being completed. But it's just like something you have to do in the physical world to prove to the quantum that you deserve it or whatever. Like a strange dynamic that you've created for this, right? Like a this you think it's this superficial exchange between you and the quantum, right? Or something. But it's all in your mind. It's all in a state of mind. It's all mind, okay? You've got to understand, identify how they feel when they buy, okay? Anchor that state to your product. So, how would it feel if you have relationship issues, you tried my product, and then your relationship issues were less. That'd feel amazing, right? Yeah. Now what you've done there, you've fused their buying state with your offering, right? And you haven't been like using deceptive media tactics and like, convincing them and micromanaging their decisions. Like, no, it's chill, it's friendly, and it gets the job done. Okay. So this is a new phase where we start to understand that you can change your tone, right? Your tonality creates your reality. Oh, woo. Okay. If your third eye is buzzing or something as I'm speaking, yeah, you're not the only one. Okay. Your tonality creates your reality. So that means if you're speaking to somebody in a harsh manner, even if you're not like, you're just angry inside, right? You feel really mad for some reason, just angry. And you're projecting it out into the world, you're going to be pissed off at people around you, man. You're really angry at yourself, but it's being projected out, right? So the tonality of your, hey, why don't you, like those harsh words, they cut through the skin, right? They get into the deeper layers of the pain. That is creating a reality of you hurting, and then it's starting a cycle, right? Giving the hurt, receiving the hurt, giving the hurt, receiving the hurt. It's creating your suffering. Are you not seeing that? So that means emotional congruence and regulation is so needed, right? Isn't that the top sexiest trait before 2025, right? Before it all ends? You got to know that we're still at 2024 right now. And right now is the time to use these Jedi mind tricks to understand how to finish strong by reinforcing the benefits. Okay? So you are the guidance system, right? It's just, I get it. It's the straight line system of Jordan Belfort, right? This is you, and this is the sale, right? A lot of people, they start the sale like this, and they go up like this, building rapport, and then they drop in rapport, and then they try to do something, and then they go here, and then they go all the way backwards, and then they have to restart, and then they have to go again, and then they find a twisty thing, and then they try to do it again, and then they try a different angle to try to persist, but it looks kind of needy, and so they have to backtrack, and then they try to, instead of what? A to B. What's the thing we're trying to solve for you? My product solves that, right? let's not get overcomplicated here, buddy. Like, what are we really looking for? Right? So that clarity, that masculine clarity, right? Of just like, thank you, please, somebody give me a structure or something, right? Give me something to grasp, something to hang on to, right? Like a monkey branch, because there's a breakthrough moment happening, right? It's like Archangel Michael and Archangel Faith, together. And this is also about standing in your light, like really fully being yourself. So many of you guys are stuck up in this industry in terms of what you believe you have to be a specific way. I have to be super spiritual. I have to present myself as somebody who is so unique instead of what? Just being you amplified and refining it, using our character yoga, using our charisma yoga, accessing these tools are already there, my friends. We just have to access it. You see what I'm saying? And so, what if we could ethically, right? Ethically and vibrationally market to someone? Because the trees are marketing all the time, are they not? The river is marketing all the time, is it not? So, who are you as a human being to not shine and market thyself? Your aura, your essence. You bring certain people closer to you and you repel others, correct? That's your marketing. That's your vibe marketing. So you got to know what your polarity is. How do you stand out in this video game of so many different things happening, right? You could try going overboard with a lot of different things to try to really, really stand out, right? Like little Uzi Vert, like putting like, things in his face and nose and, you know, on his third eye, like these little gemstone or whatever, right? Like everybody's trying. That's the thing. But for others, there's certain individuals, there's certain people where it feels effortless to them. Correct? And that's the kind of ease, that effortlessness is where we want to get to. Because that's the real sign of a master, someone who is effortless, someone who is extrapolating from the invisible worlds, and they're bringing these ideas up into the physical. So sometimes I might even tap into the power of a deity of sales who's there to help me. You know what I mean? So really, really powerful. Hey, it's Samba. Let's go. Upward spiral, brother. So this is really what it's about, right? Is tapping into the energy of the felt higher vibration that they're going to receive as a byproduct of your healing services. And if you can maintain and embody that factoid, you know that they're going to raise up to it and feel into it too. So it's not business to business, bro. This is not B to B. It's S to S. Okay. It's soul to soul, right? It's one soul to another soul, right? I've been down the journey myself, and I am now the Morpheus of this healing world, right? Or whatever. Would you like to join me? Right? You invite them in, and then you enter their world as well as they enter yours. And this soul to soul connection, this bond that you share, not in the physical world, doesn't matter, right? Okay, in the physical. In the astral world, there is something happening. Looks like I tuned in at the right time. Yeah, brother. Absolutely. So there is something happening physiologically, astronomically, okay? psychologically that will change your state. So it's up to you to anchor their optimal state to your optimal state as you go on this journey together. Okay. So how are they when they buy? When you buy something, how are you, right? You're like, pull up my credit card, right? Do the thing right, yeah. And when you see the little green tick or whatever, when it's like bling, or you get the payment received or something, right? You feel this little heart buzz or something, right? Your solar plexus recognizing that you have earned this money wisely, right? And it's merit for you that you can now use in this video game of life to churn out more abundance. So it's a beautiful structure actually, which creates the flow, the creativity inside it. So it's the Shiva container of the rules of the marketing domain in that world, but also now you're playing within the Shakti, the creativity of that within the presence, right? So the biggest like thing you see in the spiritual communities is you hear two things, right? The first thing you hear from men is just hold space, bro. Just hold space. It's just about holding space. And then when it comes down to the ladies, right? The spiritual baddies, okay? When it comes down to the ladies, you usually hear um what was it for the guys again? Oh, I forget, man. I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, um I'll get it when I get it. That's what happens sometimes is you let your subconscious mind go and then it comes back in a random moment when you're fully unconscious, right? When you're fully in the moment again, and then you get the idea plop back in. So I'm sure that's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna rush that or force that thought. But if I knew what I was talking about, I could probably get the loop. But anyway, um, calling back what is rightfully yours. Okay, calling back what is rightfully yours. Oh yeah, I just remembered. You see, I just put myself into this trance-like state, and then again, the idea came back, right? So just hold space, bro, right? And then for the ladies, they hear just be embodied, right? Just get back into your body again. Just feminine embodiment, okay? Which is very true, right? A lot of females nowadays, they've gotten very mental in their heads. They've had to take on the model of this very organized, results-based hustle culture, right? Where they've had to kind of weave through themselves, right? And it's understandable, right? Where you get men losing out on their masculine polarities and women losing out on their feminine polarity. It's because we're going back to our childhood conditioning instead of actually creating our polarities, right? So what happens is trauma makes your soul feel like it's split up into many different fragments. So really what you're doing is you're integrating. You're taking those puzzle pieces back towards your wholeness and oneness again, because you are one. You are connected to the person that you're selling to, right? You're connected to the buyer. You're connected to the customer in some way, right? In the Akashic records, you guys maybe were meant to meet. I had this client the other day, maybe a few days back, and he was like, I already know that this is predestined. As he sat down in the seat, his parents were like, no, maybe, he doesn't speak that Hindi that well, and maybe we're not going to do it, and blah, blah, blah. All this resistance came up, right? All these objections came up. And when the guy sat down, he just knew. He's like, I'm going to rock this conversation right now, right? Or whatever. And he just spoke in perfect English, right? It didn't even matter. Like, and then he was like, this is predestined. You know what I mean? And I truly believe that vibrational marketing is predestined. It's something that if you like, if you feel like your best self, right, you're gonna bring in the right kinds of customers. into that vibration that is you expanded or whatever, right? So that's the way you think about it, is you are the flame that sets ablaze all the other twin flames around the world, right? There's not just one twin flame, I believe, but there's many. So as you stay in your most dominant, powerful vibration, you also set ablaze all those other powerful vibrations that are similar vibe to yours. It's your soul family, right? So I worked with this energy coach, Rion, once, and basically he said that I had something called the sacred heart fire very strong in me. And it allows for this kind of pure expression type of thing, this kind of dragon energy, right? This breathing fire, but healing through the seraphim, healing fire. Okay, the seraphim dragons. As we all have kind of understood that we are, right? We're the good dragons. We are dragons in the righteous path instead of the evil path, right? The skewed path, the distorted one. We're here for the straight and narrow middle path, going upwards, upward spiral. We might be going like here and there, right? A few side quests, we all do it, right? That's okay. You have to just still merge back into source, back into wholeness, back into oneness again, right? So as you're growing older, you're kind of like evolving in this world and you're seeing your character shift and change. And each season, each full moon, you find yourself like, man, I'm shedding, you know, I'm shedding. I'm shedding my second skin into this new skin, into this new evolution. And it's got to feel real, because once you understand your inner workings, you start to understand other people's inner workings might have worked in that similar way. So what if you heard somebody talking about a problem that you previously solved? Wouldn't your eyes just light up, right? Not like money signs, right? That's not what I'm talking about. But wouldn't you feel like I've got this, man? I could definitely help this person out. So it's creating that past life. This is really it. Look at it like it's a past life commitment, right? This is just the mentality I'm giving you, right? You've already sold to them in a past life. This is just in this life, it's very evident that if they commit, it's going to change everything for them. Okay. And you have that in your mindset, and it really starts to formulate, because you are a powerful manifester. You have to stand up for what you know, right? And you have to move beyond the drama of this physical world. There's going to be a lot of drama. Okay, 11 energy, 47th president. Okay, 11 energy. It's an amplification. So you have to make room for good energy to come through. Create your own path and hold on to the timeline you most want, as we were talking about. Okay, so the dominant vibe that I want to be. Okay, let's use an example. I want to be brave. Let's just say. Now that's my spiritual theme of my life. I work with I'm just giving you an example of somebody, right, who would take on this approach. I resonate with the archetype of the king. I work with Hanuman and his energy. I'm interested in action and adventure when it comes down to movies. I love action sports. I'm a teacher. Boom. Okay. So now you have kind of a profile of you and your spiritual theme kind of slowly coming off. Hanuman is one bridge, right? Or maybe you might have other deities or different energy constructs, right? From around the world, from unique pantheons, wherever you were, right? So you might have a past life in another continent, for instance. And so that's why you keep seeing images of that in your subconscious mind at times through dreams, meditations, random, etchings in the corner of your mind. you will get your spiritual memory back if you start doing this work of archetypes, right? Because now that you know Brave is the theme, Braveheart is the movie, then I tap into that energy, and then now I'm in a different world altogether. You see, so it's really about stacking on the theme, right? So your theme kind of has to bleed out into whatever you do, right? Like a symbiote. So when I'm struggling with doing something, I imagine what would it look like if I were doing this in flow, right? What would it feel like if I was more in flow? And so I'm using my spiritual theme of flow to merge with the task to make it more flowing, right? So you can do this with one word that you choose that transcends you, the concept of little old you, into a grand concept of love, truth, beauty, God, abundance, something greater than you, right? Something that transcends and stretches the dimensions of your mind, heart, and it stretches your mind, body, spirit complex, right? Into such a powerful vibration that you can maintain. And you see it from all these different angles. You can zoom into this, you know, whatever you call this thing, tetrahedron type thing, and see that this dominant vibration, if I maintain it consistently over time, with catchphrases, with little things, with little pockets, micro moments of connection with people, I you're gaining that upward spiral momentum now, right? You're gaining that upheaval period of like it's generating the chi or the prana because now your vibe is associated with how you're speaking, right? And so your speech is anchored in with your state. And so how you're feeling, other people can feel. And it feels so good, right? When you can enter somebody's world and understand them better, you judge them less. And as you judge them less, you expand more, you constrict less. And through that expansion of two minds working together, that creating that soul connection, we understand that there are bound to be some miracles happen when two righteous people are deciding to work together, right? There's bound to be ripples. Because imagine like one spiritual juggernaut with another, like sitting next to each other, you know? Just imagine it. It'll blow your mind, actually. Lao Tzu sitting next to Osho, right? Sitting next to Babaji, okay? Sitting next to like Kuan Yin, sitting next to Yoda, sitting next to an old Japanese monk named Renren or whatever, right? And it keeps going. But you start to understand that maybe they're in that similar chi line, that energy line, right? That's connecting all of them for some reason. So you try to choose the old, like the grand background, but you can't be the grand background, my friend. You're going to have to choose an archetype. So if you are choosing the archetype of the ascended master, now it's time to double down and be like, hey, I resonate with Saint Germain's energy. I'm going to release the karma. I'm going to create my own path. I'm going to make room for good energy. Let's go. Right? Violet flame time. All right, guys, I have to get going right now, but thank you so much. It's been great tapping in with all of you. Have an amazing rest of your day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. You got this. We got this. You already know, man. Oh, man, this is such a great. Woo! Shout out to all praise to the Most High, all praise to all of my spirit guides and all of my mentors before me and with me right now. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.